Dante. Could you please take a moment to introduce yourself and share us a little bit about your career field?
Hello, everyone. My name is Dante, and I am a second year law student at the University of Arkansas School of Law. Um, like I said, right now I'm a law student. I don't know which particular area of law that I want to go into after graduation, but right now I'm just taking in every opportunity to learn as much as I can so I can help as many people as I can once I graduate.
Well, Dante, it's great having you here with us today. So, thank you for your time and joining us for this career fair. I have a couple questions to ask you so our students can have a chance to learn a little bit more about you and your career field. So, my first question is, how did you get to where you are now as a law student?
Well, it was most definitely a long journey. I come from a small town, and when I say a small town, 651 people, and decided to attend a large university in my state. And I originally wanted to do computer engineering. So I was originally a computer engineering major. After a couple years of being a computer engineering major, I realized that I wanted to be in more of a role where I get to interact with people. Just because I love talking to people and I love helping people. And so I decided to change to being a history major. And from being a history major, I decided to go into studying law.
Great. So, thinking about your studies and what you're doing at law school, what is your favorite part of being a law student, and what is probably your least enjoyable?
Well, I love law school, most definitely. So I'm going to start with maybe my least favorite part first. Um, I would say that law school is most definitely very time demanding, and that you have to dedicate a lot of time to studying, a lot of time to like doing your reading and making sure that you memorize the material. Um, just because it's really important that you get super acquainted with the law, because once you graduate, you're going to be representing people, and the stakes are high whenever you represent people. And so it's very time consuming. But what I enjoy most about the law is that, the law is constantly changing. I just love learning in general. And the law is constantly changing. The law could be different 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or the law could be different next year. And being a lawyer or even as a law student, it keeps you on your toes to constantly like seek out knowledge and see what's changing in the law.
Great. So, thinking back to your very first job, what was it, and what did you learn from it that you can then apply to yourself now?
Okay, so my very first job was when I was 16 years old. I got a job as a bag boy at a grocery store. And, I learned a lot of good lessons. Probably the most important lesson that I learned is always bag the bread by itself. You never bag bread with anything else. But a lot of more different things that I learned while working as a 16-year-old. I learned early on the importance of hard work, having a work ethic. Not only that, but as a 16-year-old, I had to manage like, working a job. I was also a student athlete, so also working a job, playing sports, and being able to stay on top of like my schoolwork. So it taught me time management, like the importance of time management early on, and also um, working as a bad boy. I learned a lot about just like integrity and treating people how you want to be treated and being nice to people, and the importance of being nice to people. I really enjoyed you know taking people's groceries out and giving them a big smile and telling them to have a good day, and how that really like impacted people, how that really changed their mood. And typically they always smile back at me whenever I did that for them, and that just really made me feel good.
Very good. So, You talked a little bit about your education path, changing majors. So walk us through that a little bit more. And what are some of the steps that a person interested in becoming a lawyer would take? What are some of the steps to get into law school?
Okay, so getting more into detail about just like how I transitioned into deciding to go to law school. I like to think of college as a marathon and not a sprint, just because you really want to figure out what you really want to do, what you're really passionate about, because pretty much your career is what you're going to be doing the rest of your life, and you want to do something that you find meaningful and something that really you feel passionate about. And so, like I said, I started off as a computer engineering major. And, after a couple of years of learning about tech, I love tech, but I couldn't see myself just really sitting in front of like a computer screen coding or doing anything like that, like for the rest of my life. I wanted to do something where I was interacting with people, where I could see like the impact that I was having on people and how I was helping people. And so the cool thing about law school is there is no singular route to getting into law school. I was a history major, and when you think of history majors, you think that they're probably going to be a teacher or a professor or something like that. But I know history majors who decide to go to law school, and with law school, you can major in like a lot of different disciplines and still be able to go to law school. I know engineers who decide to go to law school. I know people who did like speech language therapy and went to law school. Like I know a lot of like a wide variety of different areas of study that decide to go to law school. So you don't have to necessarily just major in political science or do like a pre-law program to go to law school. You can find just an area that you're interested in, and then do that and use that as a platform to give you the necessary skills to be do well in law school. To actually get into law school, once you are entering like your last year or last couple of years of undergrad, you will have to take the LSAT. And that is just to kind of generalize it to make it easy for people to understand. It's similar to how you have to take the SAT or the ACT to get it into your undergrad college. You have to take like a test that tests your skills or tests just like your understanding of certain things before you get into law school. So you would just have to major, do well, of course, like have a good GPA, and then take the LSAT. And once you take the LSAT and get that score, then you can apply to law school.
Okay, so what can students do now to help them prepare to get a job in this field in the future? What would you recommend for somebody just starting this journey?
Ooh, one of my favorite things about law school, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'm a first generation college student. I'm a first generation law student. So I really didn't know much about the law before going to law school, and I really didn't know any lawyers before going to law school. But really making just kind of like an intentional effort to meet like a lawyer or meet like a judge or meet someone who has practiced the law and just kind of talking to them and see what their work is like and seeing what they find meaningful. Um, it's pretty, lawyers are more accessible and they love to talk. You're gonna learn that lawyers, we're supposed to be good listeners, but lawyers also love to talk too. So if you reach out, they would love to talk to, especially like younger students, to take the opportunity to help you and deciding on whether you really want to pursue law. And I think you can really just find like your local, I don't know, local um, prosecutor's office or court or anything like that and say, I want to know if there's a way I can speak with a judge or a lawyer just because I'm interested in going to law school and I want to learn more about the practice and learn more about what lawyers do. Um, and just really kind of like just on top of reaching out to people, I just really just I don't know. Well, I guess reaching out would be I would say would be the most important thing. Just trying to get a different perspective from someone who's a lawyer. And if you like I said, if you don't have someone who in your family is a lawyer like me, then you can just reach out to like local places where you know lawyers are, like I said, the local courtroom or um, things like that.
Well, Dante, it was great having you to talk with today, and really look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay. Have a great day.
You too.